Berg, and we have another interesting subject for you today. I think.
Hi, family and friends. How you all doing this afternoon? Uh, I mean, it's really painful to talk about this subject, but I feel like we could open up to you guys and trust you with that. So let us begin, and comment below, your thoughts, and maybe you'll have advice, your opinions, and please be nice in comments and uh,
Let's keep it as clean as possible
as
and respectful.
and as sensitive as possible, because after all, it's a very sensitive subject. And let us begin.
A little over 3 months ago from this time, I had an old friend visit here, and apparently he did something that hurt and traumatized our teenage daughter, and she has not been the same since it happened.
But mind you, guys, Dua is not just your typical teenager. She is on the autism spectrum, and I'm just like it's emotional because it took courage, for her to actually open up that something happened to her.
Although we didn't find out until about 1 week later when she finally opened up, not only to us, but people at the agency where she goes for OPWDD services like camp, Saturday program, after school program, for example.
Holiday respite.
And even holiday respite, can't forget that.
And then she gets a worker coming to the house to work with her at home. So
So, in any event, this is what happened. Our daughter came home from her Saturday program one Saturday afternoon, and the matron of the van that she rides back and forth to the agency where all services are at informs me that our daughter brought something very concerning to her and she wanted to talk. So while I was waiting for the matron to finally call me, our daughter started to open up to me, and then she opened up to Inga as well about what was going on. And needless to say, we were also devastated and beside ourselves when we heard what happened.
But what basically she brought up, uh, and children with disabilities, you'll know they're not really functioning on their age at all. So what I would do with the set is that mommy, daddy, he touched my no-no square, and then he touched his no-no square, and he took his no-no and put into my no-no. So when I heard that, I was just like to myself, like, pardon my French, what the fuck? Like, we trust you, we trusted you, he was like reading to her and taking a walk with her, and now you're gonna come and abuse or do some shit that's like crazy? Why?
And while Inga and our daughter only know him for about 7 years, as this past June, this coming September will mark 34 years that I met him, and he pretty much decided to just toss that into the garbage like he doesn't give a shit, pardon my French. Well, that being the case, as Inga just said, and I'll say it again, our daughter has not been the same person, as nor have we been ever since this went down.
She's scared, and we had the police visiting. Had to talk to the police. The next day came to the detective. Now the case in the SVU's department. Our daughter was interviewed by SVU. And the next step is to confront the suspect. And then eventually our daughter has to speak to the DA. But you come in and you take advantage of a child who's 13 years old, has a disability, cannot defend for herself, was scared to scream and cry or anything. You come in and take advantage of somebody who cannot defend herself. And just to fulfill your desire. I mean, how sick you could be.
This is the sickest thing to have ever happened, not only in this apartment where we live, but even just overall, as far as like everything concerning us and our family is concerned.
I mean, of course, our daughter's in counseling because she requested, she came in one night and said, Mommy, Daddy, I would like to talk to someone. And she's in therapy right now and trying like the best in the time to like heal, but this is hard to heal. But to backtrack a little bit, that day, he decided to parent our daughter, and he had no right to do so. Like saying to her, oh, you can't be eating too much sweets, dinner's coming, and he presented himself as, you heard what Daddy said. And I'm like, looking at my partner, like, what the heck is going on here? Like, I mean,
And
who the fuck is he? Excuse me for my French.
And while I did not say anything at that moment, as noted Inga, legit parents to our daughter, mind you, eventually I might have just gave a polite reminder to our daughter if I felt she was eating a little too much candy before dinner, to just say, can you just please save the rest for after dinner? You can enjoy it, but please save the rest for after dinner, because we do want you to eat dinner and it's very important.
But before we proceed, guys, I want to apologize for cursing, but I'm just angry inside and hurt. So I apologize for curse words being, dropped, but this is just a disturbed situation. And when you deal with someone who's not, every time you confront him, lies to you, I mean, he's in the cult, but like, we're not going to get into that because it's like he's an adult. He chose to go to church that is a cult. That's on him, But like, he was like flirting, with a nun. And then we all both know that it's like a taboo. You don't like flirt with a nun or try to build any relationship. But when Chris tried to confront him by asking, are you in church of like Scientology, or like, you cannot flirt with a nun, he was deciding to lie. Said, no, but I don't flirt. I never flirted with a nun. She was like calling to like for the donations. I don't think a nun will call your cell phone to ask for donations. I mean, guys, maybe I'm wrong. Please let us know in the comments, like, if somebody from the church, like a nun or a brother or a priest, could call you for donations on your personal number.
If you or somebody you know has been through this experience, then you know for a fact how painful it can be. Especially if you or somebody you know has not only been a victim of this at least once or twice in their life.
But the hurtful things, guys, it's not a fellow adult that was traumatized. So it was like a teen who's only 13 years old, and she's still a minor, and I feel like she's scarred for the rest of her life. She still remembers what happened. She's still scared. She's asked us, Mommy, Daddy, what if he comes back? What if what if he's gonna show up? What if he's gonna call? And I just hope justice will be served in the right way, because we press charges. And I hope the Lady of Justice will help us serve justice. And we're not gonna leave it alone until he is gonna serve time for what he did. I mean, we know he's going to deny, because most criminals will start denying that they did something, But crime has been committed. And, like, to trust someone, Chris trusted him. He's been friends with him since middle school. It's been a very long friendship. And you decided to stab your best friend in the back? Oh, okay, let me just go and take advantage of your daughter who cannot defend herself? Isn't it sick? I mean, that's sick.
I'm not even sure what else to say about it. That's how devastating it is. I feel like I've pretty much shut down to the rest of the world after having to deal with this, especially when I've been helping Inga care for our nowadays mutual daughter, a child who's technically half related to me, but nevertheless, I've been helping Inga care for her for over 7 years and counting. And since day one, she and I have had a bond as tight as this, with barely the fingers touching. But even so, it's just devastating.
But it's not like he made our daughter uncomfortable. I mean, that day when he showed up before he made a visit alone, he made everybody uncomfortable. He ruined my birthday. And it was my milestone. But that's not a topic for discussion. Mainly we're here to discuss what he did to our daughter, who, an innocent little girl. And he told her that, and as painful as me, I'm sorry, guys. He said to her, if you scream or tell, I'll kill you. And that's exactly what she told us.
Somebody like this, meaning my ex-friend,
excuse me, guys,
may not be walking the streets freely much longer once the justice has been served. I don't know what else to say about it. I do know this, but I do know this much. Today's Friday. This past Wednesday, I actually met up with the SVU detective, that's Special Victims Unit to be exact, and we attempted to reach out to him, but we were unsuccessful. The detective and I left off that we may meet up again in another week or two, or the DA, meaning District Attorney, may tell her and she'll forward a message to me otherwise, and then whatever the next step or two may be in that process is a bridge we'll cross when we get to it. But nevertheless, justice must be and will be eventually served.
And then how the heck you would discuss and blame our parenting style? I mean, he decided to tell our daughter that your mom and dad are not good parents and they don't raise you right.
Hey, listen, you and me know that, all of you out there know.
Nobody's perfect.
Thank you, Inga.
Okay? We're not perfect. We're doing the best as we can for our children. And we all know that, we make mistakes as parents.
My mother told me many years ago, even when I was just technically still a child myself, that parenting does not come with a book of instructions. Some parenting skills you do develop from one of your two parents, if not both. The rest,
you learn as you go.
You just live and learn on your own. And that's how it is. I mean...
But the wisest thing that our daughter said, and mind you, she's on a spectrum. And I always said, never underestimate disabled, because they will surprise you. She said, looking at me and said, Mommy and Daddy, you do the most wonderful job. Continue doing what you're doing.
And that's all we can do. That's all we will do. To continue to do the best.
Yeah. Because then when she was like, why would he say that?
I don't know.
And then he's acting like he doesn't know why Chris is not calling him. Why he doesn't want to talk to him.
And why should I call, let alone talk to somebody
who
does what he did?
He decided to reach out to my mother-in-law, asking why I haven't heard from Chris. Is he okay? Acting like he doesn't know what happened. Like he didn't do anything. Like Chris is just being mean and rude and disrespectful, that he doesn't by not talking.
Just
He is lucky that he wasn't in this house. The next when the police was here, because he's lucky he was not close by, because one of us would have done unthinkable out of anger.
but since deep down inside, it's not worth either one of us
No, we know
leaving
better,
this
because
house
I
in
don't
handcuffs.
really want to be in handcuffs, so that's why.
And nor do I.
We just like out of anger said that, but we both know that what the consequences
And
could
we have
be.
both witnessed some of those examples of police action being taken, by people out in the street who do God knows what. And needless to say, we would never want to be walking in their shoes or
Not at
shoes
all.
of anybody similar, because jail is not a fun place to be, nor is a psychiatric ward or anywhere else for that matter of fact. But jail is not a place you want to be. But unfortunately, my ex-friend will be there any day now. It's just a matter of time.
But I mean, when you commit a crime, that's the place where you end up. Legit crime. Not like somebody innocently goes to jail and they didn't do anything wrong. I mean, when legit crime is committed, you end up behind bars.
And I can rest assure everybody, that should he be in the same cell as like one or more fellow prisoners, it's not going to go very well if and when they find out what he did.
So right now, I think he will be registered as a pedophile, because that's what he did. That's what he is. He's not right in the head. He is very disturbed individual. And he's no longer welcomed in our house. He's not allowed to call because he's blocked. He can't get through. And the only phone call that, my husband will make to him is to confront him. But we deep inside know he's going to lie and deny that he did something. But it's in the hands of the police, to determine. But we know he's going to deny it. Saying he never did it. Just to whistle out of taking responsibility for your actions, which he never does. And how could you? How could you do this? How could you?
We couldn't stress it enough of how displeasing it is. But it is.
If you did, a few weeks ago, our daughter had to be brought up by someone's babysitter because she was scared that somebody was who looked like my husband's friend showed up, and she was scared to go home. And she had to be brought up upstairs because she was frightened.
The neighbor who brought her upstairs assured that everything would be okay. And our daughter did accept that, and despite the continued traumatization, trauma and everything of this, at least we're making the best of it as a family. Nobody ever said it'll be easy, but it's not going to be all that hard either, because we won't allow it. Any difficulties to set it our way.
You do this, and it's hard. It takes a while to heal from any form of sexual assault. And our daughter will never forget, and she will never forgive. Maybe in time she'll learn, but I don't think she will forgive him. You don't forgive somebody who did this shit to you. Pardon my French. It's unforgivable. You don't. It's the worst thing you could possibly do. And it's a child.
No less.
You regardless, until age 18, you're a child. And you, like, do some, to fulfill your desire? Like, come on a child? I mean, guys, if you have, like, similar experiences, like, comment below, how did you cope with it? Like, what did you do?
And please feel free, as Inga said at the beginning of this video, to just share all your thoughts and comments.
Yeah. Like, if
right
anybody's child went through this, like, or, like, being abused, disrespected, and she's scared.
Right. Before we conclude this video, I just wanted to also just add, off the subject of my ex-friend, but on the subject of just things in general, that if you haven't subscribed already, please feel free to do
subscribe.
so.
I know you guys are watching the videos. I know you saw our first video, but please subscribe.
This way you'll always be in the know if and when
we post the new videos.
Right? And the more subscribers we have, the more and better of an audience, and
the more, like, a family and community will build.
So,
and hope you guys will have a great weekend. And
thank you for taking the time
to listen. And we love you. Have a great weekend. Bye.